that. We'll see if they do actually ban Annie here instead of Jace. Yes, they will. So it turns out the Valdanilus is correct this time around.
We'll have the Annie ban, and I don't know what you're talking about. Whenever the Valdanilus makes an appearance, he's always right.
That's true, yeah.
He just chooses his
It's not very
moments.
common, yeah. You just gotta wait and listen. Vara's still first picked. So T1 say, okay, Annie was the issue.
Wouldn't surprise me if we, at the very least, see the early priority on the Wukong here again. It is one of the favorite champions. Now, is Jace going to be the pick away here? Because that is a flex pick. Can go multiple ways. Not going to be the case. It's going to be the early Zeri pickup here. And Zeri has struggled pretty immensely into Varus. As a very different direction here for Gen.G if they do end up going for the Elise here. That would also be a big switch up for Gen.G because Peanut has not been prioritizing this champion at all.
2 games alone, only.
Yeah.
And so Owner says, you know what? Now you gave me a chance to not play Sejuani. I'll play Elise instead. And there's the Jace. That definitely shows a huge amount of confidence from these T1 players.
And Zeus had an incredible game in his laning phase and even some of the skirmishes outside of that and his 1v1 pressure, but the actual team fights were both not very well executed from him. There's also an incredible amount of CC between the Annie and the Wukong on the enemy team, and he wasn't really able to find a way to dodge that. His Jace, one of his comfort picks. Wonder if we'll still be seeing the Gore Drinker Jace that we've been seeing more and more of. Zeri, Lulu, Sejuani for Gen.G. No surprises there at all. Not the most interesting turn of events when it comes to the draft, but not too surprising either. And support bans would make some sense here. Perhaps you do want to get rid of, say, a Nautilus. Soraka going to be the case instead. I'm going to give T1 that one here.
Yeah, it's a way to, you know, take trades, heal through the poke damage that Lulu can have, and Zeri as well.
You scale obscenely well.
Yeah.
Also helps.
So not a bad idea. Akali taken away. Will they just ban Silas as well if they want to get Jovi off of comfort? I mean, he did just get POG on a Silas again. Don't have the numbers in front of me, but it's probably a large number of POGs that have been giving to Jovi's Silas.
Do have the Zero now bend away, so Gen.G, it's going to be, might be R4 Renekton instead of R4 Gnar. There is no way that Dorn is getting counterpicked. That's just not how this team works.
No, I think, well...
Unless?
There have been a decent amount of mid lane picks that have been banned, but there are still answers to the Victor.
Mirror matchup, perhaps?
Victor v. Victor?
No, Victor versus Silas. Because they're mirrored from game 1, Valdez. We can't have Victor versus Victor.
I'm an old StarCraft
How long have you been around?
You know, I'm from the days of Blind Pick and also StarCraft, TVT, stuff like that. Kassadin, Faker, you know, shakes his arm a little bit. That will be the choice. And Saya.
Carrier.
Callista. Twitch?
What's brewing? Not Twitch. I think we've tried Twitch and it's not a success.
Callista support for Carrier. And Renekton.
Yeah, now with the confirmation that it will indeed be Jace top, Renekton. I assume Renekton with the Crawler's Claw build coming out here, and yeah, it's Claw in Dutch, so that one is
Claw.
That one is dangerously close.
Crawler's Clown.
Claw. No, just Claw. Yeah. Only one letter, well, 2 letters, I guess, off as the composition for T1 here. Able to get the counter pick on mid, able to get again Carrier's Callista. But I am somewhat worried if Owner isn't able to play towards his bot side aggressively early, and they're not going to have mid prio.
I think he will.
Well, I assume he will, but Chovy should be free to roam towards bot as well. So that, to me, the Elise and Kassadin combo I really don't like. I would much rather see a mid laner that can either roam with the Elise or try and at least have priority. That is not going to be the case, but we have seen that the snowballing coming out from Elise is still extremely lethal, and when you pair it with Kalista and Varus, becomes even more absurdly so.
Yeah, it's very true, and whoa, that's a cool tiger. This is the tiger that catches T1. That's what it says, essentially. This is his first time coming to LoL Park. If you haven't been to LoL Park, definitely a very fun. After playing League for 12 years, so a little bit of extra context added by G-Sun, thank you. First time, 12 years for him. It's been a long time with this game, and we are getting into game number 2 as well. As both of these teams have put on an amazing performance in game number 1, we can only hope that we get something similar in the second one. Here we go, game number 2. This time, Owner on something aggressive, Faker on something that scales, and Guma he should be fine.
He'll be okay. Looking at the runes, Faker going for the Unsealed Spellbook here, Owner also going for Electrocute, so no big surprises there. And the T1 composition does not have anything that even remotely resembles frontline. They have a bot lane that is basically required to snowball, as Chovy is very clearly saying that you Kassadin, I might not be able to kill you, but you're also not going to be even a remote threat to me. Chovy, Merc threats, extremely high value, means that you basically are almost impossible to kill for Kassadin and Elise, so could even see that as a first back here, because starting Cole is a clear sign of, I don't want to call it lack of respect, because of course Faker's Kassadin we have already seen is extremely lethal, but in terms of laning pressure, yeah, that's pretty accurate.
Okay. Just getting on opposite sides here, Chovy will take kind of a unfortunate trade, but at the end of the day, it's Kassadin level 1, so you're pretty fine to take these trades any day of the week. And in fact, he'll go for more. As Faker, you mentioned his lethal Kassadin. He is 3-0 on the pick. Has not lost yet. Will this be his first one? Or will the undefeated streak continue for the season?
Also saw the Fleet footwork come through there. Mainly, Fleet really nice in giving you a little bit of extra movement speed, allowing you to get more autos in, but also to sustain. And even though it has been nerfed repeatedly, still going to be a nice little boon. And we did see the win rates for T1 on all these champions. Faker's just there dings too, which is good because it's getting in somewhat dangerous territory. Still has cookies, still has potions, still has a Doran shield. There's this ward. A false sense of security here for Chovy.
It's a cheeky one, and guess what? He's not even going to mid. He's like, yeah, Kassadin, whatever. I'm going to bot lane because that is where my bread is buttered. And
level 2.
He's right at this point in the game, as Peanut is looking to dive mid. So we're going to get the mega zoom out here from Jonah Strong. Faker in a lot of trouble. He did hit level 3. He's trying to trade this one back, even flashing to try to trade it. It's not going to work. His first blood will be given over to not Chovy. It will go to Peanut.
And might be able to look for it. Level 3 now for Karrion Guma.
Here comes the TP, though, and the Cocoon will land, but it's immediately cleansed by Pace, as it's Chovy who actually TP'd into this one. And that's going to save them a bot dive.
Downside for Chovy is he hadn't been able to back yet, so now still needs to back. Can't just walk from bot lane towards his mid lane, so we'll give Faker a little bit of time in this matchup. But Peanut able to find an early play, whereas his opponent not able to do so. And yeah, unfortunate reality is you're casting early on. Even with level 3, there's too much damage, even through the magic shield. Peanut and Chovy both having to flash, but very happy to take that trade. Chovy then, or not Chovy, just Peanut rather. Chovy then also immediately making his way towards the bot side of the map and covering for the possible Elise dive. And as mentioned, even with a Kassadin, I do want to see some snowballing. This might be the first opportunity here.
Okay, Chovy has boots though, so we'll see if this does much of anything. Yes, the cocoon will land, and it's more of just like a helper gank rather than actually going for a kill, as Peanut is going to be spotted by little ghost fella. And yeah, he'll just come down, clear out some wardage, and back away. Pays pretty low though as the flash comes in. Keria is looking for it. He wants the kill, but that is not actually going to work out for him.
Might be enough to zone Pays off of this wave though. We do have Peanut here as well. Oh, he really wants to at the very least get the experience here, but looks like it's not going to be the case.
Oh, they're trying to dive on a Delight here as Owner will go up. This is a massive Pierce! Goes through the two of them. T1 will force the dive by any means necessary. As now even Faker's here. Faker's level 5. Not even level 6.
No, Peanut's gone.
Can't even jump. Owner is, yeah. Okay, that's going to be the end of him. Keria picks up that kill, and that is 3 on the board now for T1.
Early game masterclass. After that mid lane dive and a not so successful bot lane gank. Some worries perhaps in the hearts of T1 fans, but then on the re-entry we get a double kill for Guma. We get a kill for Keria as well. And Pays already getting taken solo because of Keria's aggressive trade. And then here, oh, this arrow. Oh, the flash. Oh, can't go for that one. And even if Pays had survived, it wouldn't have really changed that much out of the outcome. Would have been a little bit less gold for T1, but this play still would have been a resounding success. No Pays able to catch the wave. Immediately get a kill on Peanut as well. And T1, that's the snowball you need. And that's a snowball that get double serrated Dirk now for their bot lane. And love a little bit of balance after what have been very eventful mid and bottom lanes. We have top lane just being there. They're part of the rift technically.
Yeah, very different from game 1 where it was, you know, potential to really get imbalanced and to get Zeus really out of control, and he kind of did, but he didn't really use the lead as well as he could have.
Oh, we also have 2 of our not as beloved Drakes already out of the way with Camtech and Ocean.
It's just going to be Hextech again.
I love Hextech. Hextech is my favorite favorite Rift.
I like it because we fight a lot.
Yeah, well,
that's why I like
Mountain and Infernal should do this. Although I have noticed that teams are generally a little bit more happy to give up Mountain specifically.
Yeah.
Mountain is, I think, feels a bit more passive, even though I still think it's an incredibly strong Drake. And now Faker also has it level 6, so not going to be too bothered anymore by the threats of ganks. And 2k gold lead early on here for T1. Something that I think they need, but something that they have been able to secure very well for themselves. As why not just dive again? You still have a 1400 gold lead almost on Guma, and Keria also monstrously fed.
Keria's using Flash to get small advantages in the lane, so might as well, right? We're getting in there once again. This dive not nearly as clean as the last one. They see Peanut and they're like, well, let's take it slowly, but here is the follow-up. They reset the aggro. They're going in onto Delight, and they will be able to burst him down. The aggro, though, is onto Faker, but they can't take him down. It's another 3 kills into the pockets of T1 in bot lane.
Sheepish grain on Peanut's face. What do you do?
Die?
When your opponent picks Kalista support and makes it look bonkers broken.
Maybe it is.
Well, Don't tell solo queue that well. That's not a that's not the change that we want to see in the world. But we are gaining some primo insight as to why the Elise has been basically permanently banned. Because look at how calmly they play this as well, right? Like Owner takes the aggro on the initial one, completely fine, get some cooldowns out of the way, and then go for the re-engage. So much damage available here with those double serrated Dirks, and nothing that you can do here as Gen.G. Too far behind on levels, no cooldowns available, and now you have a bot lane that is completely unsalvageable. And game 1 was very competitive, very fun, very back and forth. I am worried that this game will not have any of that.
Oh, they're actually trying to go in on this one. A bit of a 3v3, but here comes Keria. trying to frontline for this one. A big shock blast into that back line, and it looks like Gen.G not going to chase any further into the jungle. So not only that, but actually they're looking for a bit more on the Peanut, who will have to flash away from this one. Faker still on the chase. Little bit of a ring around the rosy here. And a dabbing penguin, of course, from Peanut.
Always having a good time is Peanut. Pays, yeah, with Ghostblade and Swifties.
Yeah, you're not catching that guy.
So, well, even if you do, I'm not even sure that you win, even with level 6 available. Now, the light is there, and that really equalizes a lot. But yeah, I think Guma can afford to walk up this far. Carrion also there, so Fate Skull always going to be available. But this is the dream for Lethality Varus. Getting this fat means that every single play that you do generally is just going to work out expertly.
Okay, he's fine.
Is he?
I'm just scared.
He's alive.
I just watched Carrion play this and I just get terrified. It's just really scary.
It really is.
That's it.
And after what we're seeing thus far, maybe 13.4 will finally put an end to it, Valdez.
Well, Peanut says maybe top lane.
Maybe?
No, never mind. He knows there's a ward there. He's actually going to put down one Faker. Uh-oh, he is going to have to flash here. This Faker certainly loves pushing to get as much value out of his lane as possible.
Oh, early Umbral Glaive now done for Carrier. Peanut deciding the better of it. Zeus, his wave state is very, very sad. This is a sad Jace. Is going Gore Drinker again, as we have already talked about. Benefit of Gore Drinker into some of the melee matchups, like Renekton, can get a lot of value there. The extra health is nice with the resistances that you can hammer form. And Omnivamp, which is something that Jace really appreciates, has of course been taken off of Eclipse, making many an AD caster very sad. But Jace's pivot has been relatively successful thus far. As it turns out, when you have a fat bot lane, Drakes are free. So T1 just gonna snatch that one up.
Unfortunately for Chovy, he has not been able to finish his Mythic at 11 minutes, even with the completed cull. So he's just going to walk back to lane with about 7 pieces of gear in his inventory. We do have Cloud Rift this time, so not going to be that Hex Tech that we were calling for, unfortunately, as now Pays, he's just trying to play the game. Like he's just trying to farm some minions. He's not allowed to, though. Not safely.
Very, very sad state of affairs for Gen.G. After such a beautiful game of back and forth, not the cleanest game necessarily, but a fun game.
Trying to trade here with Keria versus Delight as the supports, as Keria continuing to press the issue.
Guardian going to keep them safe for now, but Owner on his way as well.
Owner, all he's got to do is just get in Peanut's face, essentially. And just try not to die.
Now, Peanut has orchestrated comebacks from insurmountable deficits before, as Atlas can testify.
Guma, what are you doing? He's pretty strong. And he's got some help here, as Keria is going to throw in the Fate's Call as well. Force a flash away from Chovy. It's a really long cooldown, but like, it's on an 80 carry, so I mean, it's probably better than Chovy's flash. Or, I mean, Chovy's flash is probably better than that, right?
Well, that's the thing. It's so sad because Chovy plays that about as perfectly as you can in terms of, like, sidesteps the ultimate, then able to dodge, places a nice gravity field, and he still has to flash because Carry has support Kalista and just throws Kuma Yushi over. And the game state is pretty important for Gen.G, but the one thing that they can look forward to is that if T1 make any major mistakes with closing out this game, I do think that even with having a Kassadin, their team comp can kind of fall apart. Because you have so many squishy members, as that's a free K ulti. So I'm just setting the stakes in case in case it does happen. Okay, I don't expect it to happen. I wanna be very upfront about that. I don't think that Gen.G is going to be able to dig themselves out of the hole that T1 have forcefully put them in. But if they do, or if they find a way, they do have the tools. They have Zeri, they have Victor, both scaling incredibly well. They have a really reliable front line with Sejuani and the Renekton, and you have Lulu to back it all up. But actually contesting any objective isn't really happening. And I also don't know how you're going to keep pace safe as he tries to catch a wave maybe one time. Please?
One time for the points. It's like, please, I beg of you. And you please let me farm. Faker's coming in here as, Owner comes down from the rappel. That's a free kill over to Gen.G. As now the chase is on, though. T1 very far ahead. They will try to force this one. Peanut in a bit of trouble. He's going to get wild growthed up, though. As, look at the damage from Chovy now. He's got the Ludens completed. He's trying to get on top of Gumu, who has to flash and Pace is giving the shutdown. And all of a sudden, we might have ourselves a game. I mean, it's just the one couple of kills, but it's still a nice step forward.
This is how it starts. This in and of itself, not nearly enough. Still, great game state for T1. No reason to worry. Giving over shutdowns, definitely suboptimal. Do not want to do that. Pace also able to pick up a kill. Very big.
Surely they don't lose from here, Chronicler. Jovi's like, you know, I'm just gonna take this into my own hands, right? Because he's the one who sets up the play. He's the one who sets up this teleport as well. Zeus will actually flash as all of the T1 fans are like, yes! And then he dies to the laser. Owner coming on over, he's like, well, I might as well take this one. But man, the way this all starts is just, you know, the aggression actually gets punished.
And this is a 4 versus 4, but so much damage goes down onto Elise, and crucially, unlike previous plays, there is nowhere to repel to. So Owner is just kind of stuck there in the middle of the pit, and then Chovy is, man, his Victor is making me a Victor believer, which I didn't think was really going to be a thing. Pace
not your identity.
No, and Pace gets an insane shutdown, right? Like, of all the people to go for it to go to,
탄다? 탔어.
might be one of the worst ones, except Chovy. Chovy
teleporting.
어디일까?
Where is he? Look at his spacing too. He backs away so that Zeus can get on him. But he's obviously still in range. And then
풀까지 빼고 죽였어.
I got him. And we even got his flash. So yeah, Chovy, you could say he's pretty happy about this. Although you could tell that even he knows this is not. Oh boy.
he might be dead.
Hayes might be dead. He is going to cleanse as Guma is charging in, but Fate's Call exists. As there you go. Gonna pick up that turret with the second Rift Herald. Not bad for T1.
Yeah, of all the people that catch shockwaves, Doran and Peanut will not particularly care. Anyone else still going to have to be somewhat respectful. And Faker picking up some early kills and already being level 11 is good, because that is the insurance policy, right?
Throwing everything into Chovy here, really trying to get onto this Victor. Chaos Storm onto him, and that will be enough.
Big.
Faker flashes in, gets the Victor. As they finally get Chovy out of this game.
There you go. That's money well invested there. Okay, that's the insurance policy. That casts it in. If the rest of the map falls apart, if you're not able to capitalize on, again, it's still a 4K gold lead, then knowing that Faker is there is going to make you feel a little bit safer, although I don't know if he is safe right now. Might not be.
Dominus here. Faker is not level 16, obviously, so you know, the longer cooldown teleport will be used, and that should be enough to push them away. As Zeus is quite scary. And they're just going to play it safe this time around.
Pick themselves up a Cloud Drake as well. Stacking those Drakes, very important. And ooh, who's baiting who?
Oh, they see a hammer guy.
They know there's two.
Yeah, they should know that it's Zeus too, but they have Delight coming on in, and the Wild Growth might be enough. But Note's going to go for the Polymorph as he doesn't have Wild Growth. The slow coming in onto Zeus will dodge the whip, and the Gore Drinker value is massive as Zeus will not be taken out, and Owner and Carrier come in and punish as 2 kills go the way of Gore Drinker Jace.
Oh, it's the classic trap in a trap inside of a trap, Valdez, where both players, or both teams rather, thought that they had the jump on the other team, but in the end, it's T1 who gets the most out of it. Gore Drinker Jace, we mentioned it earlier, has been a build that has been on the rise and getting genuine value out of it right there. So he's really playing towards his limits as a bit of a dangerous teleport from Faker, but gonna end up working out nonetheless. And the key thing is, while those shenanigans have been happening, and kind of the problem that Gen.G have been able to deal with, haven't been able to deal with at all, is that while we are getting distracted by these skirmishes and these traps, Keria and Guma are just pushing. Like, and wave after wave goes into the turret. They get further and further ahead. They're able to pick up more and more objectives as nice sidestep on the flail, and then the Core Drinker value comes through. Keria and Owner perfectly in time to help out their top laner. And that might have been it. If that trap ends up working out, they get another shutdown. Could be feeling a bit better, but now everyone on T1 is monstrously fed, and we see, but we had a little dip in the gold graph, or rather in the incline. Now steeply upwards again.
Yeah, T1 Faker. I mean, he's almost got his 2-item spike here.
Yeah.
Still needs 4 minutes for the rod, but it's fine. I mean, he also has a stopwatch, and he's level 12, so he's a little bit more time, but he is actually just a very excellent late game win condition for them as well, outside of everything that they already have on the side of T1. Because, you know, we had the 3,000 gold lead for the Varus, but we also have a Jace now that's very fed, and he's also going to be having a decent amount of scaling and obviously a lot of poke in this composition. As Peanut and Doran, will they beat themselves in again? The answer is absolutely yes. They get torn to shreds as Peanut looks to be down as well. That is Toby picking up a little shutdown there as well as Pays. Maybe looking for a bit more himself as there is a Kassadin. Another kill as well on to Toby here. So double kill for the victor.
I know Peanut had to die there, but he gave his life for the good of his mid laner.
Of the colony.
Yeah, sure. Haven't heard about the colony for a while. We have to ask Atlas on the space how the colony's doing, because he's usually our reporter when it comes to the colony. And Gen.G is still 6.5k gold behind. Faker is fairly fed. Guma has been able to build up an immense item lead as well, and Gen.G are trying oh so desperately, but this Jace is actually so tanky.
Yeah.
Build makes a ton of sense in situations like this. Now Chovy again really trying to make his team reach the finish line, as again Peanut goes in very enthusiastically here, doesn't quite get the flail, and as a result just go down. Very unfortunate, giving more gold over to Owner, but hey, that means that he has a shutdown still. So now if you kill him again, then you can get that gold. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me at all.
Toby's build as well, it is, I mean, he is just one-shotting
just going
people.
death cap.
Even players like the Jace, right, who have a decent amount of health, that has even the Merc Treads, even they are getting zapped, right? So Peanut looking to draw in a lot of attention and potentially bait them into a fight. That was him on the forefront. Now the Wild Growth, as they have so much damage, though. T1 trying to turn this one around. Keria maybe a little bit too far forward as Toby jumps into 3 people, and no, it was just an elaborate bait the whole time. As now Pace is on the backline. Doran will get the kill, but Pace is all alone. He will have to flash over the wall here. Faker is just hunting for people. As Peanut and Doran should be able to survive against one Kassadin who's not level 16, but a massive fight once again for T1.
Oh, they're just too far behind. If Pace has a Bloodthirster there, then maybe they can win. If T1 isn't as tanky as they are, even isn't as far ahead in levels as they are, then maybe Gen.G can win. But T1 have been able to... Did he steal that?
Yeah.
Yeah, nicely done, Peanut. This initial engage looks a little bit spooky because the rest of the team isn't quite in a position to collapse, but if T1 didn't play the early game as well as they did, you can win the game here, right? This is the type of turns where you get an actual team fight victory and then play from there. The problem is, Chovy nor Pace actually have the damage to chew through these health bars fast enough.
This is so tanky.
Yeah. And then the exhaust comes through, right? Pace ends up going down anyway.
Oh boy, here we go again. This just never ends. And Toby's dead. So that's huge, but Pei's still alive and Guma's getting pretty low, but doesn't quite matter because T1 have 5 carries on their lineup right now. Even Keria is doing immense amount of damage here. So Peanut's going to go down. He's going to be chased through the jungle. No hope for him. That kill will be fed to Faker. And now we're just going to have a T1 brand Baron taken at 24 minutes.
Unsurprisingly, T1 was able to build up an immense gold lead with this composition, and now we're seeing them reap the rewards. We're able to pick up the Baron here, 3.5 minutes away from getting themselves a soul as well. And might not be the most high-value soul, but if you're a Kassadin, you're fed, and you're getting closer and closer to level 16, you're still going to take it. Very sweet there, waiting for just a second so Guma could have a Baron buff as well as... Yeah, if you're this far ahead, Guma is just like, guys, let's end it. It ends up dying for it immediately because he flashed over a wall. But it doesn't matter.
Renekton disappeared.
Yeah, and this is not even Proudest Claw. Like this is Gordrink or Renekton as well.
Yeah.
Right? Dorn is trying to stay alive, but not going to happen. And well, Pei's BT finished. That's nice. Chovy is still sitting on only a single needlessly arch rod, and with that Baron gone, T1 should be in a primo position to bring us to a game number 3, Veldas. Very different game from the previous one, though.
Okay, well, the fun never ends as Guma is being baited in a little bit. You see Keria nearly dies, and now teleports used. As both teams, just never-ending fights as they throw a lot into Peanut, though. You can see the health bars of Peanut and Doran actually taking a big hit in this trade. Keria will have to back, but you know, no fate's call at this point in time. T1 incredibly strong and far ahead, so Gen.G themselves also going to back away.
And the existence of Keria as a Kalista support really helps with enabling... Oh, we're about to go there. 16 out of 16.
Monk o'clock.
There we go.
Oh boy. Well, go next.
Well, cashing out there.
We did it. Okay, we're good.
We have 4 people destined to get Faker to where he needs to be, and now Faker is there. He's level 16. Has his 2-item power spike.
Lulu's pretty good into Kassadin, I hear.
In a normal game state, yeah.
You can like polymorph him, right?
Yes.
Should be fine.
Sure.
No problem at all. Chains will be used. I think Peanut is purposely just kind of running in the front, trying to bait out a bunch of stuff, trying to help trade, and
well,
it's not really helping.
They're getting the cooldowns, but it's not...
Yeah.
It doesn't create...
It's because 5 people have cooldowns, and Faker's not even there, so... Yeah, this one feels pretty done and dusted. Game number 2, T1 got a pretty massive early lead with all those bot dives as Guma just gonna laugh in the face of Gen.G this time around. So the chase is on. Wow, he actually just, he just dies to another arrow. And these guys are just falling apart. Down they go, T1, the slow and steady push with the Baron buff. They've only got 15 seconds left, but I think that's 15 seconds too many. Probably don't even need it at this point. As the poke is huge, the chains go in, Faker goes in as well, and nothing is going out. They are all in under the turrets. Pei's desperate to do something with the wild growth underneath this turret and underneath this Nexus, but the damage is just too much. Faker, okay, they gotta hit the Nexus actually. That was a little bit scary. There are lots of low health bars, but T1 will get it done in the end.
T1 taking over, getting their hands on an early dominating draft, and then completely bopping their opponents. Nicely done. After a game number 1, it was back and forth. There was action. We didn't know who was going to win. It felt pretty clear. 10 minutes in, after the second bot dive, completely decimated. The chances for Pei's and the Light to play the game, even Peanut dying a bunch of times there. And T1, our best team, bar none, at playing out these aggressive early game drafts. Because if you put that draft in any other team's hands, I'm not believing. I don't see it. Like, it's so ridiculously execution-based. And there were still some mid-game fights that didn't quite go the way they wanted. It was messy, but the gold graph really tells the whole story.
Yeah, I like the way that Gen.G kind of tried to fight fire with fire. They noticed, hey, our Victor's really accelerated, so maybe we can get something out of this. But it was just one guy can't do it alone, and I mean that in the way of